I honestly didn't think we would be here again so soon, but here we are. My speed controller turned up. A lot of you had some really great comments in the last video about adding a valve down inside here that would enable me to tune the air. And actually, I wish I'd thought of that while I was making this, because that's actually a brilliant idea. My only problem with that idea is this guy. I really want to make this a portable unit. The Aldi batteries that I have are, dare I say, the most expendable because they're the power tools I use the least. And I have a few of them. So yeah, I don't feel bad about chopping up this old vacuum cleaner, pinching this battery holder, whatever that is, and attaching it to this somewhere. But that's where this comes in, because these use a 20-volt battery, and the fan in there is only 12 volt, and I don't think the 12-volt blower will appreciate 20 volts long term. That's where this, I feel like I'll be able to just dial it down. And yeah, that's why the air dampener system probably isn't the best choice. If I was just running it plugged into the power and using its proper power supply, absolutely a valve to control the airflow would do it, 100%. But I don't want to just do that. I want to make some portability, because my wife had a really good idea. And actually, one of you also had the exact same idea. So it goes to show we're really in sync, some of us, you know. And that is a portable shower. Basically, this will become an instant hot water system, and I really like that idea. It has a few safety issues that I'll address as we go along. I want this to be something that I enjoy and my family enjoys, and not make an implement of extreme, you know, burning. There it is. I use this particular speed controller on 99% of the stuff that I build because it just has a really good proven track record, and it is really hard to screw up. And the volt rating on it is missing, but I believe it can handle up to 30 volts DC. So the 20 volt battery should be perfect, just fine. That might have been hot. Oh, yes. Never short of a rag if you've got long sleeves on. Oh, which one's which? So black with dotted line, I believe, is positive, which is the first one. I have hooked these up backwards in the past. They've never gone bang, they just don't work. Good. All right. In we all go. I probably should have done a test run actually before I put this all in. but I'm feeling confident. Yeah, okay. Sweet. The other idea you guys had was to fill this with water and throw it in the freezer, and that would actually pop this dint out. So I am absolutely also going to do that in this video. I'm just draining the oil now. So let's seal it off and throw it in the freezer without my wife seeing. The only thing I need to actually make this water thing work is a bung to go on the end of that. I don't have any blanks with the right thread, but I do have some of these air fittings. I don't use this style, I don't even know what it's called, but I think I can repurpose it. If I just, there we go. Now all I need to do is put some solder in there and seal it. The solder's just coming out the bottom. That should give me a pretty good watertight seal. I want to work out how much this canister holds. Sure, I could do some math, but I don't do math. So I've got 4 litres of water here, and I'm just going to fill it up and see what I have left. Whoop. Bugger. All right. Oh, it fits. The pressure in there was so great that it's actually popped this O-ring out. It's kind of impressive. Come on. Well, that repair worked rather well. There's a slight bruise, but it's pretty good. So I guess this is next. Wow. I don't think I could have got a better case scenario, actually. Huh. Well, now we need to work out where to put this thing. I was thinking about putting it on the outside somewhere. There's plenty of real estate, but I could sort of see it getting bumped and potentially broken over time. So the next thought was, well, let's mount it somewhere on the inside. There's a nice spot here where it would fit well. The only concern I have there is I may end up plugging in the 12-volt power and having a battery on at the same time, which would probably turn these thin gauge wires into a heating element. So let's use the switch that came with the little vacuum cleaner as an isolation switch. That way, when I'm finished using it, I'll just make it a habit of always isolating the battery so that if I do forget, it should prevent disaster, I hope. Oh wow, I wish I could do that every day. Nice. 3.5. Yeah. It's a bit rough. I'll be blow. So what I'm going to do next off camera is wire this into the power inlet for the speed controller. So that's those two there. Positive to positive, negative to negative. And okay, everything's wired in. Isolation switch is off. Okay. Ooh. I think that definitely goes a bit harder. Than just the 12 volts. That doesn't do anything, which is good. And the isolation switch, off she goes. Don't know if you realised, but in that last clip, the motor didn't really sound 100%. It didn't rev right up, and that's because, well, it was already dead. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting for $25 or whatever it was. Maybe a little bit more, considering this is sort of supposed to sit in your front yard and run for 12 hours a day, or however long you want to keep Frosty the Snowman inflated in your FUD. Anyway, it's kaput. So to keep things moving, I 3D printed another adapter and I went back to the air mattress inflator that I got from Kmart that I stole this hardware out of. So now the 20 volt battery is really overkill for the motor that's in there that was rated for like 8 volts. As you can hear, you can really overclock this thing. So just have to be mindful of that. I don't think there's any point in showing you. Nothing has changed inside except that this is now gone. I was going to fabricate a heat exchange from scratch, and then I remembered that I had this sitting in the background. This is a relic from a video long ago from one of my really early water heaters, and this slipped over the 100mm pipe, which this is a bit of. This happens to be the same size as that. So I think I'm just going to use this. this coil can really sort of flop around in there, and the copper has been rubbing against these sharp edges, and that will eventually wear through. And well, we all know what happens when you introduce water to an oil fire, and that's really my main concern. I want to just fix this in there in such a way that it can't move. When you're welding stainless steel and it's not a corrosive environment, while it's still hot, if you hit it with a stainless steel wire brush, providing you haven't used it on anything else, it gives you a really quick and dirty finish that looks pretty nice. It removes all the oxide and the discoloration. If you wait until it cools, it doesn't work. So while it's hot, quick brush, and you know, it's not terrible. That's going to work. I'm going to have to hold my tongue in the right spot, balance on one leg, and only breathe through one nostril to get this right. Wish me luck. You filthy swine. Oh, come on. Oh yeah, we're doing it. That can come out now. I test fitted this before off camera and pondered how I was going to hold it level, and then I realized why, before scrapping any vehicle that I've ever owned, I always pinch the jack out of the boot, because dang, they're useful. And that actually looks pretty good. So that's straight enough, you know. Now that can go on there. I'm going to weld that on to the bottom and drill and maybe tap a couple of holes into the base of this, and that's what's going to hold it in position. Come on, you. You're the right size, I know you are. There we go. All right. So the plan, water goes in there, hot water comes out here, and this barb will fit a standard garden hose. And I'm thinking about using this oil pickup out of a hydraulic power pack as a shower rose head, because it's what I have lying around. Man, these mud daubers. Look at that. I nearly missed that. I would have put this whole thing together and been like, why isn't water coming out of it? It would have been building up pressure. And I don't think it would have blown, because this isn't going to build up enough pressure to become dangerous, because it'll just blow this weak hose off. That's the idea anyway. That's what I'm going for. Great to get on. That'll do. The only reason you want a hose clamp is because once it gets hot, this rubber hose will get soft. And though it's on there really tight now, yeah, ask me how I know. So I've cobbled together this abomination as my makeshift shower rose head. Yeah, just that alone is worth the price of admission. All right, it's not fully up to temperature, but I just want to crack the water because I don't want to get the copper too hot. Whoa, wow, wee. Okay. Oh, I can feel the heat. I can feel the heat coming through the hose. There we go. Oh, wow. Oh, that is beautiful. Look at that. It's steaming. Okay, this hose fitting is leaking like a sieve, but... Okay, everything's leaking, but... That's nice. Okay, that's cooled off a bit now. All right. That's now just warm. It was really nice. Now it'd be just warm. Yeah, okay. Let's turn it up a bit. Oh yeah. There we go. So I reckon the flow rate of a small 12-volt water pump would be just spot on for this. That is like just on the verge of maybe uncomfortably hot. So getting up around maybe 60 degrees. Wondering, it's not giving off any smell. I can't smell anything. I have got the oil sort of going in there pretty good. And this pipe coming out is warm to hottish to touch. I'd better stop this experiment. My garbage can is starting to get full. Actually, in thinking about it, this system really does lend itself to circulating water in a tank, because you can't just turn it off. It's not like a gas hot water system where, you know, it's on demand and it's off and it's on and it can cope with that. Because of the plastic components down in the base, and even just the fan and everything else, you can't just switch this off. Well, I haven't tried it anyway. My concern is the heat will migrate down back into those parts and melt them, wreck them, where while the air is constantly circulating through it, it's self-cooling. So to turn it off, you just turn the oil off and leave the fan running and basically, yeah, just let it sort itself out. But I'd better turn the water off now, or at least turn it right down, otherwise I'm going to have a big mess on my hands. That's still just running on the waste oil in the bottom. It's burning out now. Just in time. I also have a bit of an announcement to make. My local Mitre 10, and that's in Boona, and Calbar, where else are they? Lowood and Mount Tambourine. They are now selling my little pizza ovens, and this is the packaging I've been working on. I've put the old laser engraver to work, and this is how it's going to look in the shop. So I've been going for sort of a really nice shelf presentation, something that's going to catch people's eye and give them an idea of what's inside the box, because it comes as a flat pack. So believe it or not, for those of you who haven't seen the video where I put this together for the first time, that all fitted inside of there. And then it just pops together, you twist the tabs, and you can put one of these together in about 15 minutes. And super pleased with how these work. We actually got together with my brother-in-law and we filmed a proper commercial for it. So I guess we'll show a snippet of that at the end of this video, for those of you who are interested. So yeah, these are also available to be shipped anywhere in Australia. The packaging is slightly different for postage, just because there's a big postage, thing that goes there. So there's no point in doing all of this. And also for security reasons, and so people don't pinch it because they know what it is. Yeah, I'm just going to have the logo, made in Australia, and there'll be a weight symbol added there. So that's the difference. I nearly forgot. I've discovered the hard way that if I deviate from my normal content, like making stoves and that sort of thing, the algorithm sort of punishes me a bit. And it's not really the algorithm, it's just, it's just how it works. Stove videos do really well, and anything else is sort of, it can be okay. But the effect of a video that doesn't go big is that it actually causes all of my other videos that would otherwise do well to begin to suffer and linger. And I've been thinking about it for a while, and I reckon I want to start a second channel for, this sort of stuff. The stuff that I do behind the scenes, the things that I actually do, that are my bread and butter. I've tried putting some of those things on this channel, and yeah, some of you have been interested, but I think if I start a fresh channel, it's going to reset the algorithm, if you like, and it'll expose my videos to a broader audience who might find, this sort of thing more interesting than just stoves. At least that's the plan. I think it should work. For those of you who are wondering, I live in a small rural town, and I do sort of walk-in repairs, whether it be cast iron or who knows what. All manner of things come into my workshop, and a lot of it is agricultural based, whether it's rebuilding an irrigator or, in this case, building a hay lift conveyor. So, I think it's interesting stuff, but I understand that's not why a lot of you joined, signed up for this channel. You sort of want the rocket stove content, you want the fire, and I get it. There's a lot of things that I would film or could film if I knew that the effort and the time that is put into making a video would actually pay off and not hurt the algorithm. But anyway, that's life. New channel. Tell me what you think. There's actually a video going up on there now about behind the scenes of how I made this packaging and just the process of that and setting up all of this. There's going to be more builds to come. And basically, depending on what I'm doing will determine what channel it goes up on where. If it's rocket stove related, obviously you'll find it here. If it's anything else, behind the scenes or just, the interesting jobs that come into the workshop, we'll have that on the other channel. Still trying to work out a name, and it's not as simple as just pick a name, because you'd be surprised how many names are taken. At the moment, it's Stephen's Shed Out Back, but I'm going to try and maybe change that to just Stephen's Shed. Or if that doesn't work, maybe Little Aussie Rockets 2, like, second channel. We'll see. I'll let you know anyway. So, yeah. See you guys. I really appreciate you all. See you in the next one.